Deep within the nine, hells lies a place darker and more dangerous than all the rest, the ninth hell. It sits at the very bottom, the deepest layer of the entire realm. This is where the strongest demons in existence gather, drawn by nothing but the promise of battle. In that place, an endless fight has raged on for 20,000 years without pause. Generation after generation of demons have thrown themselves into this war. Its purpose has never changed, to determine once and for all the strongest demon among them all. No throne has ever been claimed, no name has ever stood above every other. Two great demons now clash in the depths of the ninth hell, Balak and Garcus. Their names alone are enough to make lesser demons flee the area. Garcus stands over his opponent, mocking him with a cold smile. He tells Balak that he is disappointed, that he had expected far more after hearing so many rumors about his strength. He sneers that Balak's punches feel like nothing more than a ticklish annoyance. Balak's expression hardens at the insult. He snaps back, demanding to know exactly who Garcus thinks is the one talking big. The two demons launch at each other again, neither willing to give an inch. Their fists collide with enough force to shake the ground beneath them. Sparks of demonic energy scatter with every strike that lands. Garcus laughs off Balak's assault, calling it nothing more than a collection of petty tricks. He taunts that Balak has no real power behind his attacks, only desperation. Balak grits his teeth, refusing to let the words slow him down. The fight escalates further, both demons abandoning caution entirely. Blow after blow rains down as the battle spirals into chaos. Neither side backs away, neither side shows any sign of exhaustion. Finally, Balak roars that enough fooling around has taken place. He declares himself the strongest demon in the entire ninth hell. His voice echoes through the depths as if daring anyone to challenge the claim. Amid this endless fighting that has consumed the ninth hell for millennia, it was long assumed that no eternal ruler would ever emerge. Every demon who claimed the title before was eventually toppled by another. That belief held firm for 20,000 years. That belief held until he appeared. Deep within the depths of hell stood the throne of the Demon King, a place shrouded in silence and darkness. The air itself felt heavy there, thick with the weight of 10,000 years of bloodshed and ash. This was the seat of power for the apex of all demons, the one being who ruled over every corner of the underworld. No creature in hell dared look him directly in the eye, for even a glance could mean death. A voice questioned him, asking why the king would ever wish to return when he already possessed everything hell had to offer. But the Demon King said nothing, sitting in heavy silence. His silence alone was enough to make the ground tremble and the demons around him hold their breath. This was the power of gluttony, the ability that let him absorb every ounce of power and every body of every demon he could get his hands on. Every demon he consumed became a part of him, their strength folding into his own until he stood far above anything hell had ever produced. Deep in the depths of hell, the Demon King O Kangwoo sat upon his throne. His servants rushed forward, eager to please him. They asked if he was hungry and promised to prepare a meal fit for their king. The cooks were ordered to begin at once. The servants boasted that even this offering was not enough for a king who had already devoured tens of thousands of demons. They begged him not to refuse the loyalty of his unworthy servants. Before him lay the head of Folklore, once the strongest of the remaining princes. They presented it as a delicious meal made just for him. O Kangwoo refused immediately, shouting that he would not eat it. The servant panicked and apologized for the offense. O Kangwoo admitted that he did want to consume something, but it was not this ugly and grotesque offering in front of him. What he truly desired was kimchi jjigae. The words echoed through the hall as his craving became clear. He declared it the ultimate food that the king of gluttony desired. His servants stared at the dish of crimson blood and meat, utterly confused. They asked which head or which innards should be used to make this kimchi jjigae. O Kangwoo snapped that this was not what kimchi jjigae meant at all. One servant offered to rip anything apart if it meant serving their king properly. The truth was that demons had no concept of a proper meal. They understood nothing beyond feasting on their enemies after winning a battle. The servants assumed their king must be bored now that the 7 princes of hell were all dead. They praised him as the Demon King, the true king of blood and slaughter. O Kangwoo corrected them, insisting that boredom was not the problem. What he truly wanted was to read novels and manhwa again. One servant, ashamed of failing to satisfy him, begged to be killed for such poor performance. O Kangwoo pleaded for someone to simply listen to him for once. He confessed that if only he had somebody to love, things might be different. At that moment, Lilith, the queen of succubi, appeared before him. She was known throughout hell as the most beautiful woman in the underworld. The servants asked if he was not satisfied, even with Lilith's heart offered to him. Lilith herself declared that she would spend the night with her king that very day. Kangwoo ordered her to stay back and warned that he would kill her if she came any closer. The onlookers teased that he was only embarrassed, questioning how the owner of hell could act so shy. Lilith and the succubi surrounding her were known to consume the very essence of men who fell for their beauty. Kangwoo demanded they stop taking on the forms of beautiful women and told them to leave him alone. He admitted that compared to Lilith, even Balak had somehow looked more tolerable to him. He reasoned that appearances were not everything when it came to love, but this only made things worse. His servants were left in complete disarray by his reaction. Despite the chaos around him, Kangwoo's resolve remained unshaken. His determination built over the last 10,000 years would not be swayed by anything hell had to offer. He reminded himself that he needed to return to Earth. It had been 10,000 years since he first fell into hell. After consuming Baal, the last of the 7 princes, all preparations were finally complete. The moment he had waited for had at last arrived. He gave the order to prepare Balak, referred to only as the Thing. It was time to receive the reward for his grueling 10,000 years spent in. Deep in the underworld, a demon king gives an order. It's time to prepare the Thing. His servant flinches, terrified of disappointing him, and rushes to get everything ready. The king calls for his sorcerer, Amen, and orders the legendary armors of the 7 princes of hell to be brought out. His men snap into formation immediately. Whatever he's planning, no one dares question it out loud. Soon, everything is ready. But Amen hesitates before speaking. He warns the king that channeling this much magic into all 7 armors at once is dangerous. It could warp the boundary between dimensions and tear open a crack in reality itself. The king doesn't care. After everything he's endured, he has only one goal left. He's finally leaving this place behind and going home. With quiet resolve, he tells them to begin. The gate to the myriad demon palace creaks open, releasing an overwhelming wave of demonic power. Everyone watching is stunned. It's a breathtaking, terrifying sight. All 7 armors begin to react at once, and the room fills with chaotic energy. One of his followers begs him not to go, warning that the gate could open too soon and something might go wrong. He's made his decision. Even if this place has nothing, no family, no lover, no friend, anywhere else is better than staying here. Lilith, someone devoted to him, breaks down in tears at the thought of him leaving for good. He tells her gently not to cry. It unsettles him more than anything else in this world. Touched by even that small kindness, she's overwhelmed with emotion. She insists she wants to go wherever he goes, no matter what happens. But he's made up his mind. This is goodbye, and he has no intention of looking back. He tells everyone plainly, it was not a pleasure knowing them, and he hopes they never meet again. 10,000 years. That's how long he's been trapped in this underworld. He has no past he wants to undo, and no different future he's chasing. All he wants is the Earth he remembers. Nothing more, nothing less. After 10,000 years, he's finally about to set foot back on Earth. But just as he steps through, something goes wrong. A dimensional crack is detected, and the crossing destabilizes instantly. An ancient defense system built into the fabric of reality, called the Gaia system, activates on its own. No one understands what's happening or why it's triggering now. Alarms blare through the dimension. The surge of power is too great for the system to contain. Again and again, the same warning repeats. The core's power has exceeded its capacity. The entire structure begins to shudder under the strain. The system escalates further, triggering defenses across every connected dimension. No one knows what any of this means, least of all the king, now trapped in the middle of it. The system is buckling completely, pushed far past its limits. He's caught directly in the backlash, and it's agony. The surge keeps building, completely unstoppable. The system finally declares failure. There's no way to safely close the crack that's formed. Sealing it off completely is now considered impossible. He's overwhelmed, barely able to keep himself together. As a last resort, the system begins to initiate something called a limiting seal. He tries to resist, cursing whoever built this system, but he has no strength left to fight it. Everything goes white, then black. When he wakes up, he's lying in the middle of a peaceful, sunlit forest. Green grass, warm light. It feels nothing like hell. He wonders, almost in disbelief, if this is really Earth. Before anything else, he decides to check on his own condition. A strange interface appears out of nowhere, like some kind of game menu. It lists a name, Oh Kangwoo, and marks him as level 1, undergoing something called a first awakening. He doesn't understand any of this. Level 1? After everything he's been through? The window shows a special ability tied to him, but its true rank is unknown, and most of it appears to be sealed. A second special ability is listed too, but it says it won't unlock until he reaches level 10. His stats are laid out plainly, and by his own standards, they're painfully low. He realizes with growing dread that his powers have genuinely been sealed away. After 10,000 years of building strength, he's essentially starting from nothing. Before he can process it further, he hears movement in the forest around him. Something is approaching, and it doesn't look like anything natural. A twisted, screeching creature lunges out of the underbrush. He's caught completely off guard. Whatever this thing is, it's clearly hostile. With no real power to rely on, he's forced to think fast. And it's not alone. More of them are lurking nearby. This isn't right. The Earth he remembers never had monsters like this. Something about this world has changed since he was taken from it 10,000 years ago. Stripped of his power or not, he's not about to back down. After 10,000 years trapped in hell, a man finally opens his eyes to something new. A status window, hovering right in front of him. His name flashes across it. Oh Kangwoo. Level 1. First awakening. Beneath his name, a special ability is listed. The power of gluttony. Its rank is marked with question marks, and a warning below says most of its abilities are sealed. A second ability is locked entirely, set to unlock only once he reaches level 10. His stats roll out one by one. Strength, dexterity, stamina, intelligence, wisdom, and then something unfamiliar, a stat called demonic energy. Kangwoo stares at the window in disbelief. His powers, the ones he spent 10,000 years building up, have been sealed away. He barely has time to process it before he's forced to react. Something huge and monstrous lunges at him with a piercing screech. It's unlike anything he ever saw back on Earth. Whatever this creature is, it doesn't belong to the world he remembers later. Kangwoo, calm and businesslike, decides to deal with the threats around him first before anything else. He's standing inside what's called the Myriad Demon Palace, and he notices right away that his demonic energy feels weak here. For now, he decides to fall back on a power he already has, Demon Sabnok's power of the blade. He cuts down his target with it, and a message confirms the kill. A goblin, an E-rank normal-type monster, defeated. Experience points pour in immediately. Another notification follows. He's leveled up, jumping all the way to level 4 from that single fight. Kangwoo looks around at the sheer number of monsters surrounding him and can't help but wonder what exactly he's dealing with. It isn't just numbers on a screen either. He can physically feel himself growing stronger with every kill dot. Deciding he needs answers, Kangwoo turns to one of his own abilities to try to pull information out of this place. He activates Gluttony, Demon King, Kangwoo's own signature power. It works, but only partially. He manages to absorb information about the biology of the creatures around him. What he doesn't get is anything about the world itself, not a single detail about where he actually is. A new notification interrupts him. His demonic energy stat has just increased by 1 point. Kangwoo freezes. That stat shouldn't exist at all, not for something that's supposed to belong only to hell. The realization hits him hard, and he swears under his breath. If demonic energy is showing up here, that changes everything. There's a real chance this isn't Earth at all. He refuses to accept it, shouting that it can't be true. The only thing that kept him alive through 10,000 years in hell was the hope of one day making it back to Earth. Then, cutting through his spiraling thoughts, he hears something, a scream in the distance. It doesn't sound like a monster, and it doesn't sound like a demon either. It sounds human. Kangwoo's whole body reacts to the word alone, human. He immediately calls on another one of his powers, Valefor's power of speed. 10,000 years. He reflects on just how long that really is, a full 10,000 years since he last saw anything human. All he's seen since then are monsters covered in tentacles and creatures with dozens of arms sprouting from their bodies. As he races toward the sound, he tells himself he doesn't care what this person looks like anymore. 2 eyes, 1 nose, 1 mouth, that's all he's asking for. As long as whatever's screaming is human, nothing else matters to him. He begs, almost desperately, for one specific thing. Please, no tentacles. A voice cries out ahead of him, calling out, "Your Majesty." Kang-woo pushes forward with everything he has, repeating the same plea in his head, no more tentacles. Finally, he spots them. He pleads one more time, silently, for this to actually be a human being. He starts counting features as he closes the distance. 2 eyes, then 1 nose, and no tentacles anywhere in sight. The tension breaks all at once. Kang-woo reaches the figure and takes in the sight in front of him, stunned. A quiet, grateful voice speaks up, a simple "thank you." Kang-woo can barely respond, caught completely off guard by the moment. The emotion catches up with him all at once. He can't hold it back any longer. After 10,000 years, Kang-woo has finally found another human being. After 10 millennia in hell, his search for humanity and for answers about where he really is has only just begun. A young man blurts out a marriage proposal to a girl he's never spoken to before, then immediately backpedals, mortified, apologizing for getting carried away. He introduces himself. His name is Kang-woo. The girl, startled and a little embarrassed, gives her name in return, Han Seola. Kang-woo notices she's hurt and asks if she's okay, offering to look at the injury. Seola's attention gets caught by something in Kang-woo's hand, an odd rectangular device. She asks if it's a smartphone. Kang-woo stares at it, quietly stunned. Seeing it confirms something for him. He really is back on Earth. He tells her not to push herself and to sit down for a moment while he tends to her wound. Seola thanks him, clearly grateful and a little flustered by the kindness. As he works, Kang-woo's thoughts drift. This is the first time in 10,000 years he's been able to speak Korean to an actual human being, instead of a demon. We get a flash of his old life. In hell, he'd banned the demon language entirely, forcing everyone, including himself, to speak Korean, just so he wouldn't forget it. A quick joke beat, he even corrects the pronunciation of hell mid-thought, like an old habit that never faded. He checks the date on her phone. It's 2023. He's relieved. He'd been keeping careful track of time and speaking Korean the whole way through, so this confirms he calculated correctly. Seola hands him back his phone after helping him, and he thanks her warmly. The date sinks in for Kang-woo. 5 years have passed since he fell into hell. He starts putting pieces together. Somewhere in those 5 years, monsters started appearing on Earth. Seola, sensing he might not be up for moving yet, suggests they rest for a bit before going anywhere. Internally, Kang-woo realizes just how much he doesn't know about the current state of the world. He needs information, fast. Kang-woo asks what she was even doing out here, alone. Seola admits it's a long story. She was solo gate hunting. She explains she'd just awakened as a player and, overconfident, thought she could handle an E-rank gate by herself. She calls herself stupid for it, clearly still shaken from the experience. Kang-woo is completely lost. Hunting, parties, players, none of it means anything to him yet. He asks the obvious follow-up. What level is she? She says she only awakened recently, so she's just level 6, and turns the question back on him, curious what someone like him is doing all the way out here. Kang-woo, aware his own level is a whole other story entirely, admits he's got a long story too. He quietly reasons that she can't be blamed for assuming he's just another player like her. It's the only frame of reference she has. Slightly embarrassed, she suggests they get moving. Kang-woo points out her injury looked serious and asks if she's really okay to walk. She insists she's fine now, thanks to him. He offers to support her as they walk. She tries to wave it off, not wanting to be more of a burden. Kang-woo brushes that off too. In situations like this, he says, refusing help isn't some kind of virtue. He insists on escorting her to wherever she needs to go. She points him in the right direction, and they set off together. As they walk, Kang-woo mentally checks in on himself. Aside from the embarrassing proposal at the very start, he hasn't slipped up since. He reflects on the moment, his first real conversation with a human in 10,000 years, and notes, with some relief, that she doesn't seem suspicious of who he really is. He resolves to keep this up, easing himself naturally back into human society, step by step. Title card drop, player who returned 10,000 years later. They arrive at what Seola calls the entrance. Kang-woo realizes what he's looking at, a gate. Passing through this kind of space rift makes something click for him. This isn't just ordinary Earth anymore. He scans the area but doesn't spot any weapon or device capable of creating a rift this size, which only deepens his curiosity about how something like this is even being maintained.